Okay, so welcome back, everyone. We're here with Dennis Danaher today. He's a solicitor. You can tell because I'm wearing a tie.
More relaxed.
And I've been waiting to get a Collingwood supporter on the live feed for quite some time.
Go Pies.
So here he is. So today we're just here to talk about estate planning. So it's a very, very important topic. A little morbid sometimes.
Dear to my heart. Dear to my heart.
But definitely critical for any good life plan, really. So I just wanted to have a chat to Dennis and just understand a little bit more about you and your business.
Yep. I'll give you the short version. Wife and 2 kids, Collingwood supporter, love lunches as much as I can get them, and look, started up a law firm about 7 years ago, as you know, Karl. And since then, we've been growing fairly steadily. And as a lawyer, we look to make it pretty easy for our clients.
Great. So you're a full-service law firm?
We like to think so, yes.
Yeah, excellent. So, mate, just in the interest of keeping short and sharp, describe estate planning to me and to the audience.
Well, it all goes back to the why, I think, Karl. And the why is this. I've not met a person who has yet to live forever. So we're all going to die.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to happen. It's a question of how you die, whether it's with your affairs in order or not.
Mm-hmm.
So back in the good old days, making a will was what you did, whereas now a will doesn't cut it because of superannuation and all these other complications.
Mm-hmm.
So an estate plan is getting everything in order, including your will, your powers of attorneys, your superannuation, and making sure your structures are good.
Okay, excellent. So what happens if you pass away without a will?
Essentially, something hits the fan.
Yep.
It's not pretty. Sometimes there's a few fallacies around that. It doesn't necessarily go to the government, but it certainly creates trouble. So, and the other thing is that if you're married with kids like myself and you, then it doesn't necessarily go to the wife, or it doesn't go through to the spouse. So I've seen instances where the husband hasn't got the whole estate, where it's gone through to the kids instead. So there are problems.
Okay, yeah. So in terms of relative estate planning, what would you say the top 3 mistakes are that your clients come to you with?
Adopting the she'll be right approach is certainly number one. I think there's only 2% of all Australians have a will at the moment. Like, that is just frightful.
Mm-hmm.
So certainly getting the plan, actually thinking about your will, having a will. It doesn't, there are all sorts of wills out there. Is the start. What was the question again?
So it's just the top 3 mistakes. Yeah.
Oh,
so
top 3 mistakes. Yes.
I guess inadequate planning.
I think inadequate planning. Also bad advice. I've seen some terrible estate plans where people haven't understood them. I'm a big fan of keeping it simple, so that the client understands it, and that we always start with what the client wants to achieve.
Mm-hmm. That's great.
I think that's covered it.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I've spoken to a lot of clients in the past, and they've thought they've had a will in place, but it's generally been a will kit that you purchase from the Australia Post.
And look, that's a really good point. Lawyers love will kits. It makes us very wealthy, because most will kits end up like a dog's breakfast.
Okay.
Sometimes, I look at making a will as a way of actually saving a hell of a lot of money. If you get involved in these estate claims and whatnot, it costs you an absolute fortune. Just for a little bit of extra money at the start, you can save yourself all that hassles. And then I say to clients, you just tick it off the list. It's one less thing to worry about. You put it away and you don't have to think about it again.
Great. All right, last question for you, mate. What's the best piece of financial advice you've ever received?
Well, I think this is where I meant to say, come and speak to this man.
No, definitely not.
This bloke knows his stuff.
For real anecdotes from professionals.
The best piece of financial advice I can give is, or someone said to me, was to buy assets. In my job, I see plenty of people who are keeping up with the Joneses. They've got a brand new car and all these costs and living the life, but they're essentially people of straw. So the one key thing that I'd be saying is buy assets. But getting back to the first point is you need a really good advisor. And I've been working with Karl for quite a while.
This is not an ad.
This is not an ad. Sorry, we're ABC here. But essentially it comes down to having good advisors and people who you can trust. people who you can relate to, people who you can get on the phone and have a chat to.
Great.
Cool.
Excellent. Thanks for your time, mate.
No worries, mate.
Wonderful.
Go Pies.
Yeah. Safe.
Cheers.